What's up, everybody? It's Jeffrey Lyles. You are listening to Lyles Movie Files. I don't even know what month we're in at this point. I just know I've been in the house for a long time. So the fellas, but apparently the Emperor has decided we can come out soon. So that means I'm going to tack on an extra month to whatever the heck he says. But we're not here to talk politics. We're here to talk about movies and all kinds of other fun stuff. So we're going to have a fun episode. Joining me tonight, it's little brother Jace and Jay King. Bro, how are you tonight?
Good.
Good. Jay King, what's new with you?
Oh man, yeah, I was trying to find my mute button there, but that's what's new with me at the moment. But man, it's the same old rinse, wash, repeat, man. Another day, same soup reheated. We are in a fight for toilet paper and basic household goods. I never thought that I would be in a serious barter system for rubbing alcohol and like Lysol spray, but that's life in 2020. Get yourself a good set of masks and nitrile gloves. Get ready because we're not done with it. But the show must go on and life must be lived, man. So cheers to the good life, whatever that is in 2020.
Kanye once said. Kanye and Lil Jon. No, T-Pain. Here's to the good life. All right. First up, J.J. Abrams is going to have some trouble here because he's not going to have an older film of which to remake, but apparently he is going to be developing a Justice League Dark live action series for HBO Max. If you've been paying attention, this is the second DC Universe show that's going to appear on HBO Max along with the Green Lantern Corps. What do you guys think about this? Justice League Dark. This is more the magical, man, making up new words here. Magical characters like Constantine, Zatanna, Deadman, Swamp Thing, Detective Chimp. I like the comic. I'm not quite sure how J.J. Abrams can make this work, but as one of the brainchild behind Lost, I'm down with anything he's willing to give a shot to. So what do you guys think?
J.J. Abrams is, I guess, before this latest Star Wars series, he was like, how could you describe J.J. Abrams before that? He was kind of like a sci-fi nerd realm, Orson Welles in this era. Like he could do no wrong. He
Until
was the
he did
next
some wrong.
Spielberg until he did wrong, right? I mean, and Jeff, come on, man. Star Wars is such a, especially now after the last set of movies, prior to this set of movies, it's become so polarizing that you either love these films or you hate these films, and I mean everything after from episode
Return of
one to
Jedi.
three. Yeah, everything after Return of the Jedi. You love these films or you hate them. It's no in between. Um, Abrams had a daunting task, and he he spawned the member berries from South Park with that. He stuck to the script. You know, he really tried not to do a disservice to this series. And I'm not going to hold him to. I'm saying that to say this. I'm not holding him to that. What he did with the Star Wars work, but I'm holding him to say that this guy knows how to make sci-fi movies. He knows how to make sci-fi projects, right? Um, he's a student of his craft. He's a student of Spielberg and you name him. I don't think this will be a bad thing because number one, he doesn't. This is what I like about this project. He doesn't have to stick to anyone's manifest. He can,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you can do whatever you want with this. It's broad. You can paint with broad strokes. You can do whatever you want, and we just have to be along for the ride. Either we are or we aren't. It's like don't hold him to whatever the sins of Star Wars cast upon him, man. Let that go. No one could have made this right for anybody, I don't think, because somebody would have had something to say about all of it. Every movie.
Yeah, and
Um,
if people were
since
tripping on Ryan Johnson for the Last Jedi, they never would have appreciated and enjoyed Knives Out, which was one of last year's best films.
exactly, I had to learn something about Ryan Johnson in this series, right? Had he have been in charge of his own standalone Star Wars, like i.e. a Rogue One or something like that,
Hmm.
it would have been so much better. I think. I think
I think it would have
because
been great because it's it was their insistence on trying to do something with the Skywalker crew,
Yeah.
and but not really, which
Yeah.
messed up
Just
this
messed it
new.
all up.
Because I feel like I would have been down for a film about Poe, Finn, and Rey and Kylo Ren if there was no real connection to Luke, Han, and Leia.
That was the problem, not letting that part of the story die. And I'm sorry to segue into Star Wars, y'all, but that part of it should have died when we closed the book on what was that episode? Screw it,
6.
what 9?
No, Return of the Jedi. I mean, that was the end of their story, and the prequels just said, "Here's more context for what happens with those films."
Right, but those prequels, if we would have closed the door on Revenge of the Sith and said, "This is the Skywalker tale. Now we're going to tell new stories in the
Hmm.
Star Wars universe," and just let J.J. Abrams, Ryan Johnson, whoever else, hell, Wes Anderson, if he wanted to make a Star Wars movie, which can you imagine that? But no, anyway,
Yes, there'd be no black
um,
people.
of course not. And everybody would be set symmetrically on the screen at all times.
Yes,
And the color
all
coordination
time.
would be great.
Right. It would.
Uh,
It'd be great.
it would. But if they would have been able to, especially with Ryan Johnson, he's a great storyteller. If he would have been able to tell
Mhm.
us his own story, it would have been so much better of a movie, right? I think, well, back to JJ, this is a good opportunity, man. This is a good opportunity to start fresh and tell different works of DC. Some characters that we may have, or the casual comic fan or movie fan, whatever, may not know or never heard of or forgotten about, whatever. This is the chance. Tell these stories, man, and make it something that's worth streaming.
Jace, I think with Justice League Dark, they actually have an opportunity to do their version of the Guardians of the Galaxy. And I'm not just saying that because Detective Chimp can play that Rocket Raccoon role and Swamp Thing can more or less be Groot. But I think they've got such a diverse mix of characters they could pull from this side of DC that they could have some really unique stories. And if you're reading Justice League Dark, the comic book right now, it's one of DC's. Well, I guess you're not reading it right now because there are no new comics, just like there are no new movies. I'm disappointed that we haven't gotten any new Justice League Darks. It's one of my favorite books. But they could run with a series of Justice League Dark for a very long time. What do you think about that?
I think the I mean the I like JJ. I mean JJ, and I think you guys sufficiently said the real points on that. He can giving him a fresh start to do whatever he wants. I mean, because it was weird. I just actually watched Justice League Doom on DC Universe before the podcast started.
Huh.
Um, as long as you don't put it to any of those established, like you don't bring a cameo. You mention like the main superheroes, kind of like you may mention them in passing. You don't say, "Hey, we don't need a cameo of them." And if you're gonna have them, are they gonna be in the Titans universe or
I don't know what they're doing. I don't think DC as a whole has no idea what they're doing.
yeah, okay.
I don't know if they're going to reference Wonder Woman as Gal Gadot or, she's not, they're going to act like she doesn't exist. I don't know. I don't understand how they're going to connect DC Universe from the movies to the HBO Max universe. Or they're going to make that a whole separate Earth, which I kind of feel like they will, just because that makes it easier for them. And they won't connect it all with the CW stuff. And
Okay.
my head is swimming.
Don't go down the poor rabbit hole. Let's just assume they'll
late.
connect to one universe. And if they do, just use like kind of the characters like Constantine. I don't watch Legends of Tomorrow, but I'm still trying. I still think he's John Constantine. I still mean because John Constantine's already jumped worlds to go to. What is it?
He jumped from NBC to CW. He can go to HBO Max.
I mean, because he went to Lucifer's Earth, so it's not a stretch that he kind of hangs out as another Earth. I think if you could have Matt Ryan do that role, it's Constantine. and that would be the bridge and hook for everybody else to like, okay, this is Constantine. And then anything else you want to do, and it can be wacky. You come up with a good Zatanna, you got Swamp Thing, Dead Man, like you said, like those characters.
Swamp the Thing.
Swamp
Who's that?
Swamp
the Thing.
Swamp the Thing. Shake the thing. Okay, yeah. I mean, those guys, like, no one knows about. You have your own. And I know you say Justice League Dark is good as a comic book. I think if you could come up with your own story, don't use any material unless it's what you come up with is complete trash after someone else reads it. Go with your own story. If they do that, I think they'll be fine.
So hopefully they'll do that one way or the other. All right, so
Write the whole season.
Yeah. Right, the entire season and come up with a plan. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to keep it with comic book news for a while. Dane DeHaan said that yes, Sony was indeed planning a Sinister Six movie before Spider-Man got folded into the Marvel Cinematic Universe with Disney. Now that was going to include, Green Goblin, maybe Dr. Octopus, maybe Scorpion or whatever, but they were going to make that off of the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man universe. Would you have wanted to have seen that, or are you happy that it didn't because they got to focus on the new version featuring Tom Holland? Crickets, what do you think?
I'm 50-50. I'm like, they set it up well in The Amazing Spider-Man, but I think Rhino's costume was ridiculous.
Yep.
Harry's Electro, I don't know about that. I think actually I'm okay that they didn't do that.
I feel like you just answered your own question.
Yeah, I really did. It's like, nah, that would have been just ridiculous. And then you're trying to figure out how to make the villains the focus of the movie. So, nah. I think I'm glad that got scrapped to make way for Tom Holland and the MCU. I think that's just a better money maker for everybody involved.
Right.
Yeah, that was a smart thing.
So Sam Raimi said, oh yeah, by the way, I am going to be directing Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. So he's going to have directed both the characters that Steve Ditko co-created with Stan Lee. Doing Spider-Man, of course, and now Doctor Strange. Javon, what do you think about this? Sam Raimi directing another magical character who can do some crazy, zany stuff.
I like it. Sam Raimi has a good track record, man. I mean, he made the only Spider-Man movies that mattered. Wait a minute. He made 3, right?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, God, yeah. So, okay, the first 2 Spider-Man movies that really mattered. I mean, I like the newest, the ones with, what's his face?
Tom Holland?
The new kid. Yeah, they're good. They're all right. But the first 2 Spider-Man movies.
John Blaze?
Huh?
You said that right. And I said, you said that right, and I said, oh, but Sam Raimi ones are more John Blaze.
They're more John Blaze than that. They got more John Blaze than that. I mean, they all right. Look, the Tom Holland was all right, but that was Spider-Man for the first time for me on the big screen, for all of us on the big screen, and it looked like a real Spider-Man movie. It was fun. It was great, and Tobey Maguire was a good casting choice. They made 2 good movies, really good movies. The third one was a turd. It was like they just had to finish out a contract, right?
Javon, I've always had problems with those movies. I mean, even when it was like, oh man, this is the best superhero movie we got. Deep down, I was like, is it though? Because I was still holding on to Blade because I felt like Blade did a better job of conveying what the comic book character was to the big screen. They just made it cooler. With Spider-Man, they took down some cool elements to just do like something acceptable for the masses, where he wasn't funny or talking when he had the mask. Mary Jane was very demure. She was more Gwen Stacy than Mary Jane.
But see, Jeff, that's the thing right there. You just went into very great detail. And the average movie goer, especially at that time, yeah,
they're like, we'll take it.
About that stuff. Yeah. You just want to be entertained. and happily entertained they were.
Yeah.
It was unfortunate by three. Toby Maguire had a weird, pervy guy that works at Midnight Video Club comb over type hairstyle, and was like pelvic thrusting outside of a Saks Fifth Avenue or something like that. It was a shame that's the movie you got by the third installment, but it is what it is. I think Sam Raimi is, doing the Doctor Strange. I like the Doctor Strange, even though it's like with Doctor Strange, these movies was like every other Marvel movie you got. Cocky guy gets his come up and it's all about. It was like a Tom Cruise movie, but it's what it is. It's what it is. It's gonna be entertaining. That's the
Yeah.
key.
Right. How about you, Jace? You excited about this?
I I remember the fact that Sam Raimi he's the director of Overlord.
I don't think he did that. He yeah, I don't think he did.
Well, he's done horror kind of movies.
Yeah, he's Julius Avery did that. He did The Evil Dead with Bruce Campbell, who's expressed interest in joining up with him to play a role in whatever he comes up with for this.
Yeah, I understand that.
Ash is 100. Ash was like 119. Let it go.
He didn't have to be Ash.
Oh, remember he was like the grocery store, the ticket taker in the first Spider-Man's.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
No, but I mean, I'm okay with it. I'm still trying. It's more about what the script is going to be, because that needs to. I think especially after Endgame, Doctor Strange has to go a little weird. I think that's the real key to it. Is that they go a little weird and outside of everything else in Marvel. It's like, I don't know if you even need to deal with the Baron Mordo stuff yet.
Yes, you need to. We haven't had a black guy as a villain in these films yet.
Well, I was going to also say, it's like, you don't want to be like a Green Lantern and have Shazam teased at the end. I mean, Sinestro teased at the end and not pay it off. But I mean, it's like I just think they need to have something that's like, okay, we're completely outside of regular Marvel order. Like, whatever that is, if we can get it, like, if we can't do the horror version of this, that sucks. But I think it wouldn't be the worst thing. I mean, I think honestly, like, trying to play it safe almost would be the worst thing for that show. I mean, for that movie. It's like, so whatever they got to do to get a good screenplay behind it, I'm not really tripping on the director. Yeah.
Okay. So apparently over its opening weekend, Trolls World Tour brought in $50 million on digital. Now that's important because the first film made $40 million its opening weekend. It made $46 million its opening weekend. So without the benefit of theaters, with the same kind of advertising blitz that you would normally see on TV and online, Trolls sequel did better just from home viewership. Now, I think that means the second weekend will be interesting because typically that's when you see, people have been talking about it. People are going to the theaters again to go see it, or they convinced their buddies it was good to check out. Now, if they have another weekend, let's say it drops to 25 million, that'll make it a pretty big hit. But already with 50 million on this opening weekend, that's a huge positive feather in the cap of everybody who's like, yeah, release more movies digitally, especially right now. But maybe in the long run, this is a signal that, yeah, we don't need to deal with the middleman of the movie theaters. We can just put it out right away to the public, make all our money. What do you guys think? Is this a positive, or is it an outlier because people can't see anything else and it's like something new? Thank you. Let's go down to the couch, not out to the theaters to go see this movie.
Column A, column B. I mean, for those of us that have children, you're looking for anything to keep these little brats from screaming and tearing up your house tearing up each other and anything else for at least an hour and a half. 90 solid minutes of them shutting up and sitting down is worth your $30, right? But
Dude, you just brought like the realest take of Parenthood in 2020. Those little brats would just stop fighting and making noise and then shut up.
and
It's worth. I'll pay $50.
Yeah, hey, look, overall, it's still a night at the movies. You're paying $40 plus the cost of pizza and whatever snacks that you have to get from the grocery store while you're dressed like a stormtrooper to stand in line 9 feet back. You know, it's life in 2020. Yeah, I mean, these are all the things you got to go through. If this is what you got to do, you know, this is a sign, I think, of what it will be not just right now, during times of quarantine. You're going to have a lot of people who just don't want to go to the movies or out like that, at least until they feel comfortable, right? For some, it could be months. For some, it could be years. Some folks may never go to the movies again. Some folks may never enjoy the kind of activities they enjoyed before now because they're just too paranoid. That's what happens during things like this. You ingest too much news. You listen to all the wrong things. Excuse me, I did a Rick Sanchez moment. They just burped in the middle of the conversation. But some people never recuperate from this kind of stuff. And these are the dollars that, Hollywood will bank on during this time and beyond, because these folks are going to be glued to their couch. And they'll say, if I can watch the latest movies from the comfort of my own home, I'm all for it. And that's why I say at some point in the next 5, maybe 10 years, movie theaters are going to be in serious trouble, because if you see what's with Netflix, and Netflix in the last 18 months has given us at least 4 to 5 of the most popular viewing experiences out there, right? Between Bird Box, Tiger King now. I know I'm missing a couple.
I think those are the big two. I mean, Stranger Things, I guess, if you want to look at it from a serious perspective.
That was the other one, Stranger Things. Whenever Stranger Things drops, it's an event, Yeah. And there was some. What was it? The Central Park 5. When they see us, they in the last 18 months, 4 of the biggest things out there have come from Netflix. And dude, if you're a savvy movie studio executive, if you're a savvy person in that realm, you got to be thinking maybe we should try to capitalize on this. I know the theater going experience is one thing, but hey, if we're turning a dollar either way, I want to be able to turn the most dollars that I can. I don't need you to just go to the theater, because for what it's worth, that antiquated thinking will keep you stuck when the tide does shift, when the switch flips. You may be caught with your pants down. I think a lot of studios are going to be paying attention to what's happening right now, because this is going to extend beyond right now in this time.
Jace, what do you think, bro?
Would you get caught with your pants down? Okay, sorry for the '90s reference. Okay, so I think this is the canary in the coal mine for the movie industry. I mean, I think it's like, if you're a movie theater, you're like, that's a problem. It's like, we now have to figure. It's like, are coming up with luxury seats going to be enough to get people in here? I mean, we tell movie studios, create all your movies to PG-13 so everybody can come see it. But if we don't have something where the actual moviegoers enjoy their experience, they're going to want to say, hey, Hollywood's just going to be like, hey, we can cut out, like Javon said, we cut out the middleman. We don't have to release this. We release it at home, charge these people $50, watch the new Star Trek movie from the comfort of their home. It'll be done. I mean, we might like the box office records, but we just say, oh yeah, that's an old model. We don't really care about that anymore. We make our money on video on demand. It's like we turn a sizable profit this way, and that's just gonna be it for movie theaters. I mean, I think Regal and AMC are almost about to be going to Chapter 11, and that's if I think if they stay closed until May 31st, which is probably going to be the case, and especially even if they're open, say May 1st, I know I'm not going to go in the movie theater with a bunch of people that I don't actually know. There's not a screening done. I'm going to be like, I still got Disney Plus stuff. I'm good. Call me in June, maybe July. So I think we're going to be seeing the movie right here.
Okay, now I'd like to discuss the big topic of the week. Yesterday, WWE made a slew of firings and furloughs to a bunch of their on-air and behind-the-scenes talent. This comes on the heels of the XFL having to file for bankruptcy just a week ago now. Yeah, just a little over a week ago. They blame the coronavirus for that. Like everybody is like, oh yeah, well, because of the COVID-19 crisis, we just can't keep the XFL going. And they had to scrap their last final 5 games, and which cost the league millions of dollars. If you were paying attention, people weren't really attending the XFL before then. It was losing money, and once again going down the same path of the 2001 version, where people stopped watching, the ratings were slipping, and so this version of the XFL started off at 3.1 million. Then the last set of games averaged 1.16 million. They were on their way basically to going out of business once again. Now Vince McMahon is rumored to spend anywhere from $375 million to $500 million. That's a lot of money on a losing proposition, because it's been kind of proven people just want the NFL for their football needs. They'll take college, but they want to watch pros in the NFL. And they just did the arena, whatever that AAF stood for. Who cares? It's gone. All Alliance football thing it was. That came up, rose like a phoenix, crashed down, went out of business. Vince McMahon was like, ha! It doesn't matter. I don't care. I've learned all the right lessons from my first time doing this. It's not going to fail. I guarantee it, Pally. There's that word again. And he was like, this time it's going to be all different. And we're not going to be like the AAF, because it's got my money and my marketing, and I've got the universe behind me. So it flames out. And just like what happened the first time, after the XFL failed, a slew of wrestlers got fired and released. Now, the wrestlers got fired and released because, quote unquote, of Corona, which I think is probably very convenient timing for him to get rid of people who his creative staff, quote unquote, had no idea how to use in the first place. But this led to a bunch of people going, oh, shoot, we've been competing in these empty arena matches for weeks, and potentially exposing ourselves to the virus. Some people in the WWE have already have it, and others were like, well, guess we got to go to work. And they came in while some of their coworkers had the virus. So who knows how far it's going to spread. But they were coming in to get their paychecks and all the good stuff. And now some of them are looking for work. And as a wrestler, since you can't really do anything, you can't work. But the good news is Florida's governor decided that WWE is an essential business. That means they can stay open. Good news for everybody who's still working, because they don't have to worry about their paychecks. And Vince McMahon is still sitting back, lighting a fat one, because as his pal Donald said, he is the great Vince McMahon. So fellas, break all that down. What do you think about that foolishness from this past week?
Well, number one, Vince should retire the idea of ever creating a football league, because whenever he does get that bee in his bonnet, a national tragedy bestows us. First it was 9/11, now it's COVID-19, And you know what these things have in common? The damn XFL started again in both of these years. So
Since
don't ever
McMahon.
do this again. And look, it's going to take. Nobody's going to dethrone the NFL until the NFL dethrones itself. That's the reason why the major sports leagues are the major sports leagues, dude. It's not. It's going to take more than one billionaire's backing to do that. It's going to take a lot. You can't just do it by saying, "Hey, I'm going to give you 8 teams that are going to play every week that you're not going to care about. It's going to feature the bottom of the barrel of talent that's either
Hey,
been cut
listen,
from."
real fast
Okay.
before I don't want to remember that thought. I just see this, and I also figured that this is one of the things that puts this league in high jeopardy. So Bob Stoops is owed more than $1 million, but Jim Zorn, if anybody remembers him from the DC area, he is owed $500,000. If that is not a formula for bankruptcy, I don't know what is.
Well, here's the thing. Zorn coached in the NFL. Not that means anything or should mean anything to anybody. A lot of people have coached in the NFL that either made their bones somewhere else a long time ago, or because they were with somebody else's coaching staff, or in Washington sports law, most recent because of your last name and affiliation, to a family member. Um, Bob Stoops, because you need to sell tickets. Bob Stoops coached one of the premier programs in the NCAA D1 football programs. He was one of the coaches of one of the elite programs. So yeah, he's trying to sell tickets, but at the same time, unless Bob Stoops or Jim Zorn is going out there and running the out route or throwing 30, 40 yards down the field on the tightrope, that don't mean nothing to see them wearing a headset and holding a clipboard.
Oh no, I'm not talking about Bob Stoops. He at least has some legitimacy. I'm talking 100% Jim Zorn.
I mean, for what it's worth, Jim Zorn had a career as a positions coach in this league. He's forgotten more football than all three of us know. That's point blank, right? That don't mean that you're going to have somebody that's going to be willing to shell over whatever your ticket price is or the price of admission to see him, like I said, hold a clipboard and wear a headset. That ain't enough to get it. I don't care who you got out there coaching. It's about the talent on the field. The players got to play. He had Norm Chow too. He had guys who were coaching outcasts and guys who had lost jobs in both NCAA D1, D2, D3, NFL. And the Arena League. He had all those cast-offs. But the thing is, you also had a bevy of cast-off talent on the field. It didn't make for good football. You had one quarterback that could maybe play on a practice squad in the NFL, and he was your star power. You were doomed from the beginning, man. It wasn't gonna work. It's not gonna work. And like I said, you're gonna need way more than one billionaire's checkbook to make this work. It's gonna take a Big Five, Big Ten, or whatever, to even try to dethrone the NFL. It's gonna be like the way you're gonna do it with the NBA, NFL, any of these sports majors, the top four sports leagues in America or anywhere. Whether we talking about the Superliga or whatever, Premier League, whatever. To defeat the big boys, man, you need money. Period. You need money. You need a hell of a marketing blitz, and you got to attract the same level of talent that they are able to get. Because you got to. And the thing is, you're gonna have to pay them. It's not. It's just not that easy. You're gonna have to come together and pay these guys, man. It's not an easy walk. I just don't want Vince McMahon to ever do this again because every time he does it, like I said, we face tragedy. I don't even know. I don't even want to know what's next if he gets this itch, if he lives another 15 years and says, I'm doing the
Gosh.
XFL in 2035 because I've got grapefruits. Vince, sit down. Don't try it again. Just focus on your wrestling. Please, for the
Please
sake of
focus on the wrestling.
mankind.
It's your civic duty, Vince. Bro, what do you think?
We've been texting back and forth on this one basically all week since Vince and Linda made a sizable contribution to certain people's reelection fund to make sure that Florida gets says that WWE is an essential business.
No way.
One of the reasons why they did this is because it looks like in their contract with Fox and USA, they're only allowed 3 tape shows a year. So with that, they thought, oh gosh, we'll be in violation of our contract, and then because our ratings are trash, this is an excuse for them to kick us off USA and Fox, which was probably right, because I mean I don't know how many people really do sit home on Friday night to watch wrestling. Even diehard wrestling.
You don't?
Jeff, it's not even on my DVR. Not even gonna lie to you. So to that crookedness, I am not even shocked at all. I think Javon sufficiently covered the XFL. Just you're not deep throwing. You need multiple billionaires to touch the big leagues.
Jace just saw some more people have been released. Billy Kay, Peyton Royce, Kerry Sane, Dana Brooks, and Ember Moon have been released.
Ember Moon is it was funny. She was saying, oh gosh, because everybody's kind of saying, oh gosh, this really sucks for these guys. Peyton Royce, she's like, wait a minute, so that means Billy Kay, we're both done? Because you guys are incompetent and couldn't you figure out how to, some Australians who think we're cool? It's and especially when you do it on Tuesday, hey, you guys are considered essential. But because we didn't know what to do with you on TV, we're going to get rid of you. And some of you have already been, like I said, exposing yourself to the coronavirus. But the dude who was supposed to headline your straight up pay-per-view made the correct decisions. Hey, I got twins on the way. I just battled 2 rounds of leukemia. I'm good. He's okay. But you go there trying to be the good soldier, hey, don't worry, I'm there for you, Vince. I'm going to fly my family out there to Florida. I'll hang out, around these random dudes who just came from airports and all, God knows what. And we've actually had probably 2 employees test positive for it. I got you, Vince. Yeah, we don't need you anymore. You did this the exact time I can't sign with anybody else. AEW, New Japan, you can't sign with them. I mean, ROH, nobody can sign you because nobody's running shows. So you have 30 days of whatever your contract is. And after that, who knows what I mean, if this thing goes into July, you do not have a job. And you are on the market with how many of your other people, top people, competing for jobs? It's and especially when you said, hey, we're okay, we got money, we have $500 million in reserve that we can weather the storm. Oh yeah, you're fired though, because money. I'm just I watch the show occasionally. Now it's just dude, I'm definitely not watching any of these live, this taped arena bullshit. The live no crowd arena stuff. And if I'm even bored, I'm gonna find other programming to watch. It's when it comes to NXT or AEW, AEW's winning that now 100% of the time. So I'm done with that program or any of his programs. So he can suck it. Just the last thing again. Just say.
That's 2 words for you.
Yeah, it's I'll give you 2 words back to you when somebody else you would allow other people who actually spoke the language that people understood versus the ramblings of a 70-year-old man. I'm hip. Ha 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 ha. I know what gets ratings. Your time is done and gone, and now you're doing. Some crap like this. Come on.
It's very interesting. And
interesting is a word.
Yeah, and in addition to that, our boy Howard Finkel died today. So it's just and Stephanie McMahon tweeted that if this week wasn't hard enough, now we've also been hit hard by the loss of Howard Finkel.
How about you get a job for real? How about you actually have to apply a resume and or even just network to get a job outside your daddy's business? I know. Never mind. I'm gonna leave that. Okay. Yeah. Seriously, shut up. you have never had to work for your job. It's like just you cut 30 people, and I'm sure there's more cuts coming because they basically been saying like each day somebody's getting a text message like, here's the next round. Like,
What do you think about that text message firing? I mean, I guess you can't really come into the office to get your pink slip, but wow. Can you imagine getting a text and be like, yeah, dude, thanks, but you're good.
here's your 30-day release, man. But wait, I tried to get out of this contract in January, but I was so essential. And now that I can't sign with anybody else, yeah, good luck. Good luck to you in your future endeavors.
He's a special somebody, and it's
Man, he's gonna enjoy that nice little sunny vacation he's got in like 20 years.
vacation.
Extended, and then he will earn his time there.
Well, that was my nomination for Dummy of the Week because I no one's gonna be Vince. Do you guys have any nominees for Dummies of the Week?
Ivana, because I was going to co-sign with yours. Once you actually officially said he was Dummy of the Week, I was like, yep, co-signing. Like, everybody else has shut up or is done nothing in entertainment worthy of that. Like, just...
I guess my dummies of the week are celebrities complaining about, and especially the rich celebrities. I'm not talking about people who are famous or marginally famous and live like you or I, where they're just trying to hold on to
They're just like us.
They're just like us. No, I mean the folks like Jennifer Lopez and A-Rod who are able to have gym access during these times because somebody's saying, "Hey, we'll open our gym up to you, famous rich person."
We'll wipe like down all the equipment, even though you have a perfectly good home gym.
Yeah,
and it's on the other wing where your kids are not going to be. We got you.
We'll do that for you. We'll do that for you, because you're paying for it and you're bored and all, So God forbid, the rest of us have that plight, but whatever.
Did that actually? Did Jennifer and A-Rod actually do that? Did they actually have
somebody?
Yeah, they
did.
Did you really think they have to make that up?
Yeah, I didn't have to make that up. That happened.
How dare you trash the legacy of J-Lo and A-Rod, Javon?
Oh, man.
By coming up with this fabrication.
I just have to ask the questions occasionally. Just like, I mean, what kind of privilege? I'm sure we're going to...
beyond belief.
I mean, and I'm sure you're going to do a PSA saying stay at home. Unless you can bribe the guy not to.
Like, look, stay at home unless you have the money to afford not to. Because what's next, if it hasn't happened already, I'm not going to be surprised when it does, is celebrities paying for restaurants. If they want to go have a meal at their favorite restaurant, they're going to hire the kitchen staff and at least
dude, they'll just spin it like, hey, we were able to keep the employees paid for another month.
We're contributing to the economy.
We're doing our part.
We're doing our part. Between that,
you too can help out everybody by donating to this charity or this restaurant.
No, you can do by ordering takeout. See, I know you can't do what we did. Right? We tried to get the waiter to come to our house, and the chef to come to our house, but he said he wanted to practice some social distancing crap. That thing we're always about.
Whatever that means. Yeah. So for those of you celebrities sitting in, and I gotta love the ones with the really massive homes that are saying shit like, oh, it's like being in a prison, like Ellen or Drake. It's like,
Ellen, honestly, I saw her show, and you could see her sunroom. I'm just like, that's bigger than most people's apartment right there. You can just see how the camera is like far enough away, and there's still stuff on the background.
Ellen's sunroom is bigger than most people's home. I guarantee you that's about 1,200 square feet of empty space that Ellen DeGeneres has only had to use or got the opportunity to use during this time.
And it has a view.
Yeah, that's the real funny part about all of this is that most of these people never get a chance to enjoy the $20 million worth of home that they've purchased, right? They're always
So
on the road.
something good came out of this, Javon.
Yeah, so something good's coming out of it. Stay at home, enjoy it, every square foot. That and all the people, I work for the man, and we have a lot of meetings to justify what we're doing. Even if we're doing nothing, we got to have an hour-long meeting about it. What I love during this time in full corporate U.S. working and what have you, even on the news, as everyone's practicing social distancing and staying away from their colleagues or whatever. Everybody's Zoom or whatever you're using to telework and show yourself, your face while you're working. It is a serious competition to have the best backdrop. It is a serious competition. Like one of my colleagues, he must live in a log cabin somewhere in Denver, in the mountains. Not even Denver, like in Colorado or Pueblo, or near Salt Lake or Provo or something like that. He's got to be near Mountain Range, because when he showed like the positioning of where he was sitting in his log cabin with the mountain range, I'm like, yeah, dude, you're not Northwest, that's for sure. You're not in Roslyn, that's for damn sure. There's like a mountain range behind you. Like there was a bear walking in the background. Like, where the hell are you? That's got to be a green screen, right? So it is definitely a competition on that front. And I'm like, look, whenever it comes to stuff like that, I'm always anti-guy. So my next meeting is going to be of me taking a dump with full audio. Full audio. You're going to hear you're going to hear it all. And you're going to get the backdrop of my filthy, disgusting, putrid, old ESPN magazine sitting on the back of the commode. my spray of choice to hide the scent of my brand. Yeah, you're going to get all of that. That's my backdrop. My stinky man bathroom. I'm not competing.
My man cave. Deal with this.
Yeah, deal with it.
This is my life.
This is my life. Deal with that.
Javon, are you in the bathroom?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Can you put that on mute, Javon?
I don't know how to work the mute button. It's not working. It's not working. They're farting loud. I'm purposely.
Yeah. It's actually your phone when you have to, you've really been sitting at home watching TV, sleeping, just with your hand on the mouse, occasionally to jostle it so it doesn't show you away, and then trying to justify what you did all day. It's like, I did some training. I had a conference call, not with you guys, but some other guys.
Somebody else. Hey, Jason, I went through that. That was my third week. At this point now, with my COVID beard and my balding, I don't care. Like in my deliverables for the week, I put I made it to the Eastern Conference semis in my 2K season.
Deliverables.
I made it to the Eastern Conference semis.
It was a grueling season.
It was a grueling season.
Those Cavs
I took the lowly Charlotte Bobcats or Charlotte Hornets to the semis. Yeah, these are my deliverables. I finally made it to the point where in Red Dead where you get the black water. What else? Yeah, these are my deliverables. Yeah.
What did you do, Jerry?
I didn't.
These deliverables don't have anything to do with work. What's going on?
Well, I've decided to use this time to the best of my. I'm training myself to be the best I can in other areas, and right now that area is how to work my thumbs or manipulate my thumbs to be the best video basketball player I can be.
And remembering how to
I
use
focus
that
on thumb
index
manipulation
finger,
work.
yeah, the ring finger really just doesn't work as well as it used to. So I gotta get that R2 button really going well. So
It really serves no purpose. I don't bother with the ring finger, man. It's all about the index and the middle when it comes to the triggers. You gotta work those two. You gotta work those two. Kite flying has been especially for the wind. Kite flying has been a skill set that I'm developing. How this relates to work, I don't know. Maybe give me a windy day where we're working outside and you'll see. Trying to think what else. I think because of the amount of hours that I've watched the first 48 during this time, I am a certified detective, or at least a criminal science investigator. At least that much, I'm certified. I know the entire backstory of the Paw Patrol, Ben 10. I know that So Raven has a son now, and he's got the gift. Um, I learned a lot during this time.
You've made the most of this time, Devon.
I have.
Not gonna lie, you've learned several new skill sets that are very impressive.
This is what you do during the apocalypse.
Hey man, if you don't come out of this without learning a new skill or learning the backstory of Paw Patrol, you failed.
What have you done with your life? What have you done with your time?
Dude, seriously.
Seriously.
All right, listen, normally I wrap things up with the Dummy of the Week, but I have to give it up to ABC. They are showing some amazing resolve here for American Idol. They are actually going to make the singers show that they can sing. They're going to do remote episodes where all the singers are going to perform live at home.
Cool.
I live at home with my mom. You think I got a video conference hookup?
I'm sure it's only 20 of them. I'm sure they can mail out a little camera rig or whatever. Yeah, I'm like, that's all right.
Come on, man. Y'all suck. I got great acoustics in my bathroom, but that's about it. Come on, man.
Now, this is one of those deals where the Mary J. Blige singers needed to be eliminated from the competition. But those that can sing, I mean, this is like the ultimate test. This is like going back to their YouTube days. Love it.
Oh, yeah. I know one thing.
Here's me at home recording.
Another congratulations to ABC Jeff for ending Modern Family. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for putting that old dog to sleep. Goodness gracious. It's only been 110 years. That show's been on since 1993, man. Come on.
Yes, in dog years. All right. Man, let's get out of here. All right. So, fellas, thank y'all as always for rolling with me. Thank y'all out there for listening. Stay safe. Keep your social distancing. We'll be back brighter, better than ever next week. For now, this episode of Lyle's Movie Files has been filed.